Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 8 of the Fuck or Suck podcast. Co-host Wesley in the house. How are you, mate?
Good. How are you, Matt?
Going very well, mate. Very well. Hey, I think we should give these guys a bit of a life update on what's going on in the world of the Fucks or Sucks guy. But not only that, what's going on in the world of Wesley?
Yeah, okay. So I just got back from Australia. You and I had a bit of a nice little catch-up.
Yeah, we had a good time down under.
Yes, we did. We went up to Mooloolaba, sunny coast, and it fucking rained the whole time. So that was shit.
It did. We watched a few movies.
We watched some shit movies
We
as well.
watched some shit movies, man. Has anyone seen, what was it called, that horror movie we watched?
Sinners.
Sinners. I think we missed the underlying message in Sinners because apparently it's been nominated for a few awards, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why. That was just such a shit movie. I remember like we got 1/3 of the way through and I'm just like, is this a good movie? And then we got halfway through. I'm like, I don't think this is a good movie. And then the movie finished. I was like, that was a really shit movie.
One of those movies where you watch and you're like 20 minutes in, you're debating whether you should turn it off or not. And you're like, but it's got the potential. Like, you know, it's a horror film. Nothing scary's happened yet, so something big's coming. Nothing really came. Mate.
Nothing came.
I mean, there was a few vampires and a bit of blood sucking going on, but nothing crazy.
No, nothing.
Would not recommend that movie, guys, personally. But isn't that funny how some people can watch a movie and really love it and then others just don't like it? I've always found that fascinating.
It is fascinating. Obviously, different likes, different interests, different perspectives can change a lot as well. But yeah, no, that was a shit movie.
What do you think makes a good movie that the vast majority of the human race sits down and enjoys? Like, can you think of a movie, and anyone listening, like try and think of a movie right now that you're like, everyone likes that movie?
Shrek.
Bro, I fucking hate that movie.
Do you really?
Well, I'm a 35-year-old man, mate.
No, surely not.
My biological age is actually 30, I found out today from some of the tests I've been running. But
Really?
yeah, so
Oh,
I'm
we
not
can talk about
35, I'm
that.
30, man. I'm going to take that. But in terms of Shrek, yeah, it's funny, bro. It's funny. That little donkey, it's Eddie Murphy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shrek's a pretty good one. I mean, I think there's probably some people underlying that will say, oh, I'm fucking too big and tough for Shrek. But then they're like, if they're ever at home sick on a day off from work and they're cozy underneath the blanket, it's like Shrek's just a comfort movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you ever break up with your partner or you're having like a really shit fucking week, you can't be mad and watch Shrek, mate.
No.
You just put it on and kick back and
Hey,
life's problems just go away, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can think of like light-hearted movies that are more for everyone. But like, there's a lot of niche movies as well, or niche genres.
I'm just trying to think, man. The top of my mind is like, I know Jim Carrey's not for everyone, but Dumb and Dumber is a classic movie. But I do know people that don't really enjoy his style of humor. But there's not many people that I say that old movie of Dumb and Dumber where they're like, nah, I fucking hate that movie. Do you like it?
I wouldn't say I... No, it's not a go-to.
No.
It's not a go-to.
It's my go-to.
Is it really?
Fucking
Well,
love
you
that.
like war movies and shit.
Like real movies or things that I can envision may happen. They don't have to be super real, like an intriguing thriller that pushes the boundaries or even a horror movie that pushes the boundaries a little bit where deep down, you know, that couldn't happen. But I kind of like to freak myself out in the fact that may actually be able to happen. So I do enjoy war movies. I like a good success story. But you know what? I just love fucking documentaries, bro. I like heroic documentaries where I'm like, that's fucking badass, man. I love like a lot of climbing documentaries. It doesn't have to be climbing Everest, but you know that 14 Peaks, have you seen that?
Nope.
Great documentary. The guy who climbed all 14 peaks, the highest peaks in the
Interesting.
world. Yeah.
So you like the inspirational achievement stuff?
Because it inspires myself to keep on going. That's a little hidden hack there. I do enjoy those heroic type films. Alex Holland, who is a very well-known rock climber, who just did the skyscraper recently on the Netflix. I'm not sure if you saw that Netflix skyscraper climb, but he's got some really good documentaries. Free Solo being one of them, and that's basically where he climbs El Capitan with no ropes. And just the thought and the process that goes into that, bro, and the risk that it's involved, and the mind power that it takes to be able to climb such an incredible fucking mountain without any ropes, it's insane. One slip and you're dead. It's just like, what drives someone to be able to have the mindset to be able to put themselves in a situation like that and execute and achieve? So yeah, I do like those types of movies. But you know what? I still like other types of movies, like Denzel Washington movies. Like
yeah, but it's still very much on that theme.
Could be real kind of thing.
Could be real.
Equalizer series, bro. Equalizer 3, badass. They were all really good.
You and I talked about this while we were up in the sunny coast. We got on the conversation of movies and stuff. And I was trying to wrap my head around why you don't like sci-fi stuff.
Bro,
because I'm a huge fan.
I've tried, bro. You want to know a funny story? I got trapped in Avatar, man. Trapped. When Avatar first came out, when was that? I don't even know. But I was in the movies and I got stuck, mate. I couldn't leave. And it got to the point. It was only like when mobile phones, I sound old. When mobile phones just had internet, when you could go onto Safari or whatever it was. And I remember Googling, like, how long does this movie go for? And the feeling of me being trapped, it was like a 3-hour movie, bro. Hectic. And I was with someone at the time that was really enjoying this movie. And I was not enjoying the movie. So then I thought in depth, why can't I enjoy this? Why can't I appreciate the graphics? Why can't I get lost in the storyline? I don't know. I've tried to step outside of my body, think about my subconscious thoughts and try to get into these movies, but I can't. You know what? I've been able to get into Deadpool, but that's as far as my Marvel, what would you call it?
Marvel tolerance
goes. Doctor Strange, fucking hated it, bro.
Yeah, well,
even the Batmans and stuff I struggle to get into, man. But I like the Joker as a character. I think the real Joker movie, the one that wasn't like the actual one called Joker, that was like not too.
Okay.
No. Joker, like the most recent one with the guy dancing up and down the stairs. I got into that one. That's all right, but
you might
that
like
was
the new Batman
more real
as well, then. Because it's very kind of like more real, more dark, less superhero-y.
Yeah, I'm open-minded to give it a go. I'll keep trying. But I don't want to be stuck and no escape. Like, I don't know if I'd go see it at the movies.
Have you ever walked out of a movie at the cinemas?
That's a great question. I would have walked out of Avatar if I could. But I was with someone at the time that I couldn't walk out with because they'd been like hyping this Avatar movie up, loving it. Their whole family had watched it. And
were you honest?
Huh?
Were you honest about your thoughts afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I gave it a fucking super suck, mate. I gave it a super suck before they were even a thing. Yelled out as soon as it finished. Everyone was clapping and I just stood up and I was like, super suck.
Shit.
Everyone was like, who the fuck's that guy? I'm like, I'm a social media sensation 10 years from now.
You better sit down for this.
They were like fucking just throwing the popcorn at me. Yeah, look. I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie, to be honest, because I'm quite selective on what I go and see. What about you?
Yeah, I've walked out of plenty.
What?
So AJ and I,
Plenty.
AJ's my wife for everyone. AJ and I, like, we're very explorative in the things that we like to watch. And so we'll kind of just see a movie and be like, yeah, let's just go watch it for the sake of it. Oh, but if it is shit, like, we're not afraid to leave. And we'll very often just be like, no, this is shit, and then just walk out.
Really?
We don't want to waste our time.
Oh, it's very precious, mate. I am very highly selective on what I go and see. In saying that, Cara and I went and saw the latest Scream movie and actually didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait until that comes out on Netflix or Prime so I can go watch it again. But I was like, yeah, that was, not a bad Wednesday night adventure.
Okay.
What is the best movie you've ever seen in cinema?
Oh, Dune.
Doom?
Dune.
Dune. Oh, bro, I fucking did not like that movie, hey.
Oh, really?
Yes, bro.
Oh, dude, Dune 2 is the best one that I've seen because it was just so grand and like the
They're
world
long,
that they
aren't they? Aren't they
created was
long?
just, and the sound design was just fucking phenomenal.
Were they long? They're long. I get the
Yeah, it's a
feeling
pretty
they
long
go for
movie.
ages. Yeah. Best movie I've ever seen in cinema? American Sniper, man. Story of Chris Kyle, Navy SEAL. Over 100 kills, mate.
Very real.
But that was I didn't know the story of Chris Kyle before I went into that. So if anyone doesn't know Chris Kyle, very successful Navy SEAL, high kill count, and came home and unfortunately got taken out by one of his own, a veteran suffering from PTSD. He went out to the range one day and he was trying to help him out and he shot him.
Oh no.
Which is hectic considering he did tours overseas and
That's horrible. You see, that's too
overcome
real
all
for
the-
me, man. I like to live in, if I'm
Fantasy
watching a
land.
movie, I like to escape the reality and sit myself in a fun alternative reality.
That's where I want to go. Take me there. I'm not opposed to going to that place. I want to go, mate. Take me. Keep trying. I'll keep trying. It's not that I don't want it. Just got to keep trying, mate.
So what else is new on your end? Or give us some updates.
We've got some exciting guests lined up for the upcoming podcast, which I'm super, super pumped for in April. But I think one of the biggest things that coming up is the next Fuck with the Lights On challenge. 13th of April. We are getting some really good results coming through at the moment. Hey, like we always get good results, but we seem to be having bulk transformations coming through right now. We have our November intake and our January intake pumping on all cylinders and everyone's crushing it. Everyone's crushing it. It's so good to see. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's happening at the moment. The transformations of our current clients and the upcoming Fuck with the Lights On challenge after Easter. I'm so pumped for that. I cannot wait.
Yeah. No, that is exciting. I can think of, just off the top of my head, a couple really exceptional, like mind-blowing transformations. I can't wait for you to share to the public. If they allow it to, of course.
Yeah, it's going to be hectic, this next challenge, bro. We've got it down to a point.
And do you know what I love? I just want to say, the way that we have everything set up where we stay closed for so long is just, in my opinion, is the most awesome thing that we've done. Because number one, it gives us an opportunity, all of us as the coaches, to actually work with these people on a closer basis and ensure that results are actually happening. And number two, it allows us to just, I guess this is more tied into number one, but it's that focus. It's that focus and attention to all of the people that are joined. And then we close for so long, unlike other coaches that are just constantly open and constantly trying to get more and more people in. I feel like that dilutes the community.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, just like, you know, I've been in coaching programs, like business coaching programs before, where I've just had, there's just new people showing up every single day. I'm like, well, who the fuck is this person? Like, I'm barely even getting to know any of the people that were already in here before me. And now there's new people on top. And that kind of feels very, I don't know what that feels like. It's not the best of feelings. But yeah, us doing the cohorts where we're closed for so long and then, okay, boom, we're only open for this long and we have a very limited amount of spots available. That just feels really good.
I get the feeling, if I'm to put this as an analogy, that having people coming and going all the time is kind of like eating at a food court where people fucking everywhere, man. People just everywhere going, when you go into one of those food courts on a Saturday and it's just busy and there's just people everywhere. But when you've got open closed door, it's like going to a restaurant where everyone's inside, everyone's sitting down, everyone can look at the menu, everyone's chilled, everyone is being waited for because they've got their specific person coming over to their table. That's how I feel
That's a good analogy. That's a very good analogy.
Well, from experiencing both, from like you said, from a business standpoint, like when we've done business coaching before, I've been in those types of programs before, whereas people coming and going, and then cohort style where it's open, closed door like we do. And I've also obviously been in that with my own clients. So I've ran open, closed door before, like we're doing now, and I've had where everyone comes and goes, and the community is like just strong when you do it like we do. It's just so strong, and everyone feels a part of it, and they just get the best service.
Yeah, absolutely. What else is new? Anything else you wanted to share?
What else is new, mate? Good guests, up and coming challenge. Caught up with you when you came over to Australia. That was really good. Ooh, we're not going to let the big secret out of the bag just yet, are we?
No.
Big secret coming, guys. Big secret coming. Ooh, what is it?
Something is in the pipeline. And it's big. So
huge. I hate it when people, I probably shouldn't have even said that, so I apologize. It's like, when people go to the hospital and they like take a photo of the hospital, but they don't tell them the reason why they're there. And they're like, wound it up here, but I'm okay. Like just wanting people to like ask, oh, what's wrong? I don't want to be that person. The only reason we're not telling you is because we can't give you dates and approximate on the things that we're doing. So I'd rather not say anything at all.
But we're also excited about it. And 100%. We need to say a little bit just because we can't contain it.
Yeah, exactly. What's new with you, mate?
Well, as I said, I'm back in Bali. Good to be back in Bali. Missed my home very much. Good to catch up with friends and family while I was in Australia. And I went to Brisbane and Canberra. But now that I'm back, I'm essentially just keen to get back into routine, and I'm officially starting a fat loss phase. So I'm going to take myself through our 3 phases. And
what are our 3 phases for people listening that don't know? So everyone that joins the program, guys, just to give you a bit of a heads up, everyone that joins the Fuck with the Lights On challenge goes through 3 phases, and where's those 3 phases are?
The strip phase, control phase, and then the release phase, right? And the strip phase is obviously the stripping of the body fat. So I'm going to be getting myself into a deficit, losing the amount of body fat that I need to in order to get to the body fat percent that I want to. And then I'm going to be documenting and essentially vlogging the entire process so our clients can see firsthand what it's like going through from someone else's perspective, and obviously from one of the professionals, quote unquote professionals.
Tell you what, mate, just quickly, you don't get that in the food court.
That's right. This is like having that window to the chef's kitchen.
And then you're in the control phase.
And then we head into the control phase. The control phase is where we bring calories back to true maintenance and kind of sit there for a little while so we can re-regulate hormones and hunger signaling, and get myself in a position where we are ready to move on to phase 3, which is the release phase, which is where inside of our program, we teach people how to stop tracking everything, stop relying on a food diary to track everything, and we implement specific habits, routines, and behaviors that allows us to just live life without tracking calories for the rest of our life and stay lean, of course, in the process. So yeah, dude, I'm excited to get that series underway.
That right there is just a glorious system, the strip, control, release. Most people think that they're done once they get down to the happy body composition. Wes and I were speaking about this, guys, just before we jumped on. A lot of people lose the weight. They do the 8 to 12 weeks intensive fat loss phase, and then they feel like they got it from here, but a lot of people don't got it.
It's true. No, it's true.
And that's why the control and the release phase are the phases where so many people miss. They don't increase calories while maintaining habits, because a lot of the time the dieting of phase of the strip phase, people do unsustainable things to get the weight off. They don't build the habits and they leave that. They'll think they'll do that after. But the real secret is building the habits on the way down and increasing the calories, bringing the metabolism back up to a healthy rate and maintaining your habits whilst not increasing the body fat, right?
Yeah.
And then that glorious phase of release where you can literally look at a plate of food, know how many calories are in it, how much protein's in it without even having to track it.
Yeah.
And being able to live free for the rest of your life because you've put the time in to learn how to track and be able to look at food and know what's in it.
I mean, there's a lot of coaches that seem to push this idea of, because essentially what it is intuitive eating, where you're eating intuitively in a way that supports and maintains a low level of body fat, right? That's essentially what we teach people how to do. But what we have established is there's actually a process that everyone needs to go through before they get to a position where they are able to successfully intuitively eat. And that is, as you said, building the right habits and behaviors on the way down, setting yourself up in that control phase where you are increasing food whilst maintaining those habits, and then learning how to actually apply intuitive eating into the real world.
Because no one should have to track forever, right? Like no one should have to be tracking everything forever. And this is a lot of, I think people get overwhelmed. They're like, people push intuitive eating because you don't have to track because tracking is an extra job. But just like anything, if you want to be successful, you got to put the work in. And a part of being able to live lean year round is having an understanding of what energy is in certain types of food, what macronutrients are in certain types of food. And you most certainly do not have to track forever. I haven't tracked for years and I maintain a very lean body weight and I eat a lot of food. And that's because I put the time in, I put the work in and I learnt. Like, isn't that crazy? Because like in anything, whether you start a new job, you buy a new phone, there's a period of learning that needs to happen for you to be able to be fluent at it.
Yeah.
Driving a car, you need to put the hours in before you're allowed to do it by yourself. And there's a reason for that. And it's exactly the same. And it's crazy that, the human body is such a complex thing and we know so little about it in terms of, what keeps us alive. The main thing that keeps us alive is like maintaining a healthy body weight and, looking after ourselves. And isn't that the whole reason we're on this earth, Wes? To stay alive for as long as possible and to be able to live free and do it pain-free? Well,
you'd assume so. I think you'd assume so. Improvement of quality of life. That's definitely, that's actually something that I've become more focused on, I think, as I approach mid-30s. You've recently got, you're doing lab work. Tell us about that. What are you doing on with this stuff?
Yeah, well, I am doing some lab work. I don't know how deep I want to go into it on this podcast. So I reached out to a company because I was genuinely interested for myself. Because I have been seeing a lot of people pop up in recent months that have become very sick and unfortunately either fallen very ill or passed away at an age they shouldn't have. And this is due to not necessarily living an unhealthy lifestyle, more so not getting checked early enough. And for years, Wes, I've been trying to get checked. I go to my GP, I do my bloods every single year, I ask for the most in-depth blood panel, but I don't know what it's like for anyone listening in other countries other than Australia, but your normal regular GP in Australia, from what I've found, I've had numerous ones over the years. They do a basic blood panel, and because I'm a happy, healthy body composition, and I look fine, and I train, and I eat, and I sleep, and all that sort of stuff, they say there's no need to do anything else, no need to do other further testing. But the people that I've been seeing that have unfortunately fallen ill, not due to a bad lifestyle, but just because they drew the short straw, every single one of them say, get checked. Get yourself checked. Run the tests. It's not about overcompensating and worrying that you've got cancer and those types of things. It's just about being a little bit proactive, So I did research and I've reached out to a company, which I'm excited to be releasing very soon because we're working together, and I don't do brand deals and I don't reach out to anyone. the only reason I'm doing this is because I feel responsible to be able to spread awareness, because I have this platform now. Over 3 million followers over social media. Imagine the impact that I could have if, let's just say, 40 or 50 people got checked. Imagine that, like how much of an impact, because early signs and picking up things before you get symptoms, most of the time you can prevent it, especially things like bowel cancer, prostate cancer. These types of things can be prevented early on. So I feel it's my duty to reach out, run the test myself, experience what their service is like, and then spread awareness to my audience and my community to say, hey, just go and get checked. Whether it's through that fucking company or someone else, I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this brand deal, you know, for a monetary gain or anything like this. This is genuinely coming from a place in my heart for people to get checked and to be able to spread awareness, because, man, it's ripping me apart when I see a 25-year-old kid from the Gold Coast, you know, pass away from testicle cancer. Like, it's fucked, man.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good cause, and I think it's a very strong message. Especially, I don't know, there's this association with getting checked that is either scary or kind of people avoid it because maybe they're coming from a place of denial in case something is wrong. I've felt that a few times, you know, needing to go to the doctors for something specific. And so I get it. But if you can show that there is an easy or simple process to getting it done, and then it's not a bad thing to get done. If anything, it's the best thing that you can probably do, and then lead from that way. I think that's a really good message.
Man, I want to know. I want to know if something's wrong. I've said to a few people what I'm doing, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I'd want to know." I was like, "What do you mean you don't? You want to know when it's too late? Like, don't you want to know now so you can actually have a better chance at being able to mitigate what's going on and be able to make lifestyle changes?" You know, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but man, I just got my first thing of blood work back, and my cholesterol's a bit high. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not eating enough fiber. And when I think about it now, I'm like, you know, I eat 90%, if not more, nutrient-dense foods, whole foods. But maybe I'm neglecting my fiber a little bit, which is pushing my cholesterol up. So there's these things that, you know, we can always improve. I'm healthy. Like, my biological age is 30, mate. I'm 35. Come on, I'm kicking goals. But you know what I mean? It's easy to bury your head in the sand for someone like myself. Bro, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. I've got a few niggles in the old hips and elbow, of course. But in terms of, like, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I feel good, I'm energetic, you know, everything's looking great, feeling great. But just because it's looking and feeling great doesn't mean that you can't pick up on things and be proactive.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather double check and be sure than get to 40 and then have bowel cancer. That was one of the things that I met up with the GP. I had a video consult with him. And he was saying that one of the silent killers is bowel cancer, and it's silent because it comes on so quick. And by the time people have serious enough symptoms, often that's too late. It spreads very quickly. And he was under the belief that a lot of people are coming down with bowel cancer these days is because, one, the amount of processed foods that people are consuming and the accessibility of these processed foods. Like, think about it. 5 or 10 years ago, let's say, people's jobs were a lot more, before COVID, people's jobs were a lot more active, not as much work from home. People generally had to do the little things of, like, getting out of their car and walking to the office. But now so many people work from home. And you know what else? There's not just Uber Eats. You got DoorDash and all these types of other food services. Imagine the amount of people that work all day in their office at home. Because they're at home, they don't have to commute, so they put a bit of extra work in. Oh, shit, kids are coming home, too tired to cook, order DoorDash, order Uber Eats. The vicious cycle continues, right? So this is what he was saying, that bowel cancer is, like, on the rise because people are not only eating more refined, processed shit, but they're also more inactive. Like, people aren't moving as much as they used to.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a worry. It is a worry. So
yeah, you can tell I'm quite passionate about it. I think it's so important, and I just feel responsible to be able to get the message out there and just fucking go and get checked, guys.
Yep. Amen. What else? Was there anything else? I watched your podcast with Mitch Little. That was a good podcast.
Mr. Mitchell Little. He's a good bloke.
Yeah, I
Top
enjoyed
bloke.
that podcast.
Yeah.
And you did a segment where you asked him to rate. What was the segment?
Yeah, where he would say things. Oh, I would say things, and he would have to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the worst, 1 being 10 being the most important, 1 being the least important.
I wanted to do that with you because I feel like you and I we share a lot of beliefs, but I know there are a few things that you and I might not see eye on.
Well.
So I think that would be interesting.
This isn't pre-scripted, guys, so I'm interested to see what he's got on the cards.
Yeah. So if you want, we can get stuck into that.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
So just a reminder for everyone, 1 is the least important, 10 is the most important. Wes is going to shout out some things. And do you want to do rapid fire, or would you like to give my rating and then as to why, or do you just want me to how do you want to run it?
Let's expand on it if you feel like you need to expand on it. All right. We'll start off with an easy one. Walking for fat loss.
5.
5. Do you feel like you need to expand on that?
Well, steps are important. Daily activity is very important, but it all comes down to a calorie deficit and eating. You can be walking from sun up to sun down, and if you're not eating in a calorie deficit, you ain't going to lose weight. I sometimes, actually, I'll just expand really quickly. Yeah. I sometimes see overweight people out running, and I think it's fantastic they're getting out and doing something. But I'm just like, I hope you're not going back home to a big bowl of muesli and some full fat yogurt and a bunch of honey and macadamia nuts, because you're just gonna, that's what I think. I just want to make sure if people are out there making the effort to exercise, like even if they are still overeating, it's great. But like nutrition first and foremost, 90% whole nutrient dense foods, calorie deficit.
Yep.
Next,
post-workout anabolic window.
2.
Testosterone optimization hacks.
Well, that really depends, doesn't it? Depends on like people's lifestyle habits. Are we saying that the person's like squared away with everything? They're eating whole nutrient dense foods, they're sleeping and all that type of thing? Because the basics are testosterone hacks. I need more context.
So I've been seeing a lot online.
Oh, I bet you have.
There's a lot of coaches online that are pushing specific routines and rituals to improve one's testosterone. For example, red light therapy.
2. 1. Not important. The most important things, sleep, hydration, nutrient-dense foods, lowering your stress levels. Those things are going to increase your testosterone, not these little 1%ers of red light therapy fucking icing your balls in between 9 and 10 o'clock. Although there has been studies to say that icing your nutsack in the sauna is a good way of keeping up your sperm production.
Icing your nuts in a sauna?
Yeah, so you shouldn't be letting your testicles get too hot. So by icing them, that preserves sperm production and makes you more fertile. Brian Johnson did quite a lot of research into this, longevity guru.
Very interesting.
Thinking about buying some ice packs.
Okay, ice baths for recovery.
5. I enjoy ice baths more for the mental side of things, and they do make you feel good. Mm-hmm. But in terms of recovery, sleep, hydration, nutrient-dense foods are the most important.
Standing desks.
Ooh, I do like them, but I'd say again, I haven't got one. I bought Cara one, but I haven't got one. So I'd say like a 2 or a 3. But if you're someone that works from home and you struggle to get your steps in, you can definitely put a walking pad under that and get your steps up. So I don't know. Just really depends on the individual and what they have going on outside of that standing desk.
Saunas for fat loss.
Saunas are really good though. I do enjoy sauna. There is a lot of health benefits for using a sauna if you ice your nutsack.
All right. Here we go. Eating before bed.
Is it important to eat before bed?
Like right before bed.
I get asked this question quite a lot. It's not going to affect fat loss, but it could affect how quickly you go to sleep and your resting heart rate. So I would recommend probably cutting off eating try to a couple of hours before. I'm not always proactive at doing this, but I think giving yourself a couple of hour window before you sleep is, well, it's proven to give you a lower resting heart rate, and for you to be able to fall asleep easier. But in terms of consuming calories for fat loss closer to bedtime, it's not going to make a difference. It all comes down to your overall calories consumed in a 24-hour period.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. Mouth taping for sleep.
Fucking did that once. I almost ripped the skin off my lips the next morning.
Oh, shit. Nasal breathing.
You don't want to be a mouth breather. Lazy. 3 or a 4. Some people will be like sitting like, you get like the culty mouth and nose breathers, and they're like, oh my God, you could be optimizing your sleep if you put a nose tape on, and it gives you freaking 35% better sleep. But yeah, not super important on the scale of like the big pillars. Can be helpful, but not massively important on the big pillars. I'd say a 3 or 4.
For the first time ever, when we were together up in the sunny coast, you had
we used the
nasal tape thingy to open up your...
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to lie.
They're good.
That night, I definitely felt a little bit more alert with that on. Like, I don't know if it was just the breathing or... I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time I used it, and I think I need to get some.
They're good. They do feel good when you have them on.
Yeah.
We were just kicking around the house wearing them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Blue light blockers.
3. These are all seem to be 1%ers. Like,
yeah,
decreasing, I would say, like trying to shut off screens before 3 to 4 hours before bed, like at least 2 to 3 hours before bed would be more important than if you had blue light blockers and you were wearing them all the way up to bed. I mean, it doesn't hurt to wear blue light blockers if you're on the computer or in front of screens for a big period of the day, because our eyes as human beings aren't meant to be staring at screens for a prolonged period of time. So
that's true.
It just depends on the individuals.
That's true. All right. 5 a.m. wake ups.
Bro, where did you get these fucking from? 1, because at the end of the day, win the morning, win the day. But if you're getting to sleep at midnight, 5 a.m. wake up, like, it's pointless. Sleep is the most important thing. So you should be trying to optimize and get as much sleep as you possibly can.
100%.
That's where the body recovers and repairs, rejuvenates.
These are ones that I've actually scraped from comments on social media posts. Yeah. So a lot of these are things that people seem to talk about a lot and emphasize a lot of importance over.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like that's a very standard thing that we see a lot. Would you agree? Like, a lot of people are looking for the, what do you say, the magic
quick
pill.
fix, mate. They want the pill, potion, lotion, cream, or cleanser.
Yeah, and they allocate a lot of attention and focus to these things that aren't actually that fucking important.
You know what? I got to be honest. Every time you're saying one of these things, all my mind is wanting to say is like, okay, everyone, let's prioritize our sleep. Let's make sure we are intaking whole nutrient-dense foods. Let's make sure we're drinking enough water. Let's make sure we're strength training. Let's make sure that we're prioritizing our mobility and getting our bloods checked regularly. That's what my mind is saying to me. Like, all these little things are just like, if you're not doing all those things that I just said, you are fucking just trying to look for a needle in a haystack. You're looking for like these little quick fixes that ain't going to do shit if you're not nailing everything else. If you were nailing all those previous things that I just mentioned and adding these on top, they may have a greater effect. But that's all I want to say about it.
Still marginal at best, I'd say.
But marginal, yeah. Go a couple more?
I've got a few more.
Yeah.
And then we can move on to the next segment. 6-week transformations.
Fucking 0. Hate them. Band-Aid over a bullet hole. Not enough time to build habits, solidify new routine, change your way of life. That's why we run 24 weeks. I know some people might be listening to this thing in 24 weeks, 6 months. I was explaining to the group this morning, our clients on a call, we run 24 weeks for a good reason, because we want life to throw hurdles, roadblocks, because working through those hurdles and roadblocks is very easy if you're just doing a 6, 8 or even 12 week challenge. But when you've really got to change your habits forever and you adapt a new life where, you navigate through the roadblocks and the challenges, that's what keeps you the results, where you don't have to keep on coming back to these 6, 8, 10, 12-week challenges. You actually do it once and you do it right, and then you never have to do it again because you've truly changed the way that you are, performing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
That's very true. I like that, actually. I don't think I've ever specifically said that, but it's for the roadblocks. Because
100%.
we can't expect things to go perfectly, and genuinely, like a true transformation, not everything will go perfect. And it's getting to those roadblocks, those speed humps, and learning how to navigate and overcome them, which is where the lesson is acquired from. And those 6-week challenges, dude, I could easily just say no to everything for 6 weeks and set my life up in a way where it's perfectly organized, and where everything is great for 6 weeks. Could easily do that. Then what happens?
You get a nice little transformation. You lose 6 to 8 kilos. You feel good when you look in the mirror, perhaps, but you fucking hate that you can't go out for dinner with your family. You don't know how to track your food correctly. When life throws a curveball or it gets stressful, you don't know how to navigate that. So then it all falls in a heap, and then you're looking for the next 6-week challenge in the next 8 weeks.
Exactly. So I like that.
0.
Last one, Matt.
Yep.
Fitness influencers.
Yeah, I don't like to see myself as a fitness influencer. People call me a fitness influencer. Like, some are good. That's so particular on the message, 1 out of 10. Like, some are good. It just depends on the ones that you follow.
What would your advice be?
5. I would like to think out, if you had 10 fitness influencers, 5 would be good.
Yep. What would your advice be? Because I know a lot of people can get caught following the wrong message or person, and it's very easy because there's a saturation. What would your advice be to someone that's unsure? Like, how do I know if I'm following the right people that are giving me the right information?
Look for someone who you feel is genuine. A lot of the times, if they're caught up on pushing a very specific, hard message that doesn't allow any sort of flexibility, that's often a way to be able to captivate people in thinking that their way is the right way. Looking into, obviously, client testimonials and results. The trouble is, a lot of these extremes, like the carnivore or heavy set boundary ways of living a healthy life, it gets good results in the short term. So a lot of the time they do have good success stories that come behind them, but like, who are the people that are still going 12 months down the track? That's what you want to really look out for. I'm just always dubious of someone that's like trying to push a certain product for monetary gain hard themselves. Obviously, as coaches, we all need to offer a service and get money, or we wouldn't be able to post all the free stuff on social media every single day and to be able to help people. Like, we don't get, well, speaking personally, in Australia, like, we don't get paid much for views. A little bit on Facebook, but nothing, 0 on Instagram. So that's where my main following is, on Instagram. I don't get a brass razoo. I made 6 cents last month. So all the money comes from coaching. So just look for people that are pushing the right thing, and I would say steer clear of extremes. The only reason you should be going down an extreme route, trying something that is like heavily restricted, is if you're working closely with a qualified practitioner who's not on social media and you have specific things wrong with you that require that. Other than that, I feel like a lot of these fitness influencers are pushing their way, and they can stick to it because a lot of the time they're monetizing off it quite well. So it's easy if you've got an incentive behind you. But what about the everyday mum and dad that's trying to take on a new, healthier way of eating, and they're so restrictive, and then they've got little Billy's birthday party on a Saturday and he wants a cake, and then you have to say, no, I can't enjoy this cake with you because I'm following XYZ that won't allow me to ever eat a piece of processed food again. Do you know what I mean? So I think a realistic balance and just trying to, be cautious. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything that you said. How do you discern? I guess I'm asking myself this. How do I discern? I think there's a lot to do with the common sense about things, which is a slippery slope, because I feel like, you know, people have varying ranges of common sense. But for me, it was always what makes the most common sense. Usually, what's the most boring response someone can give to the thing that I'm trying to find out? Because usually it's the boring thing that is the right thing. It's the thing that doesn't have any polarizing opinions around it. It's just like, it kind of depends on the situation, which is more neutral. So I feel like that it's like the neutral information that you receive. But that
which can be hard for a lot of people, because a lot of people want that immediate thing, because a lot of people work themselves into this place where they're desperate. They need to lose weight. They're feeling like shit. They're fed up with what they see in the mirror. So they want a diet that's going to get them quick results. They want a cream that's going to get rid of that belly fat, or, you know what I mean? Like, they want something now, and you can't blame people for wanting that. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, that's not the answer.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next?
Well, you've asked me some questions. I think it's time I ask you some questions, mate. Now, these are very serious, so please brace yourself, and I want you to really think deep on these questions, all right? You ready?
Yeah. Yep.
What's the youngest age child that you feel like you could beat up?
Can you repeat that?
Why are you laughing, mate? What's the youngest age child that you feel like you could beat up? By the way, anyone listening, this is the segment of fucked up questions, all right? We're not child beaters. We're just having a bit of fun, having a laugh. Of course, we would never beat a child up. It's just, some people would not find this funny, but this is just a fucked up segment.
Youngest child. What age is considered a child? Is
16 and up. Oh, no, because teenager. Fuck. I couldn't beat a kid up, bro. I'm not going to beat a freaking kid up. What are we talking about?
So,
that's
because
an
there's
inappropriate
teens,
question.
right? 13, you're no longer a child, you're a teen.
Yeah, I would say that. It would have to be a life or death situation, but I wouldn't beat them up. I'd stop them from doing what they were doing.
Yeah, I think... Okay, here's a scenario in my head that just kind of came to me. If there was a kid that was trying to kill my dog, I would not hesitate to do a little bit of punching.
Yeah, it's really circumstance dependent, isn't it? Because you like to, if it's a child, like, you give the benefit of the doubt that they might not know what they're doing. Like, they don't know right from wrong.
Yeah.
Or they're just acting out because they're fucked up.
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to go and beat the parents up if they were there.
Yeah, you see, I agree with you. I'd be like, where's this kid's parents? I'm going to bash you.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I can answer that one. I don't know if I'd beat a kid up. I would just stop them from doing what they were doing. Yeah, that's a fucked up question.
Yeah.
We don't think of these questions, by the way, guys. These are coming from Barstool Sports. Now, what would you pick the title of your autobiography to be? If you wrote an autobiography, what would be your title of the book?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. For those playing at home and you're listening to this, think about right now, if you had to, what would your title of your book, your autobiography be? Mine would have to be something along the lines of Matt West, the guy who reviewed everything that fucked or sucked.
Nah, yours would be something like Jazz Hands or something. Like, it's the little details.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. Hey, that's a very tough question.
Yeah.
That's a very tough question.
From bench slams to jazz hands, the guy who fucked or sucked the world.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's it. I think you got to start writing a book.
From bench slams to jazz hands, the guy who fucked or sucked the world. God, did we just start an autobiography?
I think we did.
What about for you?
Shit. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Wesley Wessington, a smart guy from behind the scenes.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Next question.
Would you rather A, have your wife's or girlfriend's hair, or B, she has your hair? So you would rather have AJ's hair, or would you rather her have your hair?
Man, she would look like...
Imagine Cara with my hair, bro.
Dude. I'd go with her hair because then I can like tie it up into a, a little
I can almost imagine you with a man bun.
man bun. I couldn't have AJ have my hair.
Bro, I don't know what it is. Sorry to any of the females with short hair. Like sometimes it does look good on girls, but not a fan. Not a fan of short hair on chicks.
Your Kara's hair, because she's got the bangs,
fringe
would look so funny on you. We need to get an AI swap. Well, I need to see that. Please
Maybe we
get an
should.
AI swap. Go ChatGPT, put Kara's hair on my head. I want to see what that looks like
All right.
with the pigtails.
I'm gonna do that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Just cuts. I might actually cut that bit out of the podcast and put it on my personal page.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kara's hair, though. That's funny. Fuck, bro. That's going to be so funny. I just thought of that in depth. I'm going to do it after this. Is it okay to use a gift card on a first date? I use gift cards all the time.
Well, I was gonna say by Matt's standard, yes.
Yeah. I don't mind the odd gift card. FPOS gift card, by the way.
I'm gonna say no.
It's not
It's just-
okay.
No, it just looks. It looks a bit tacky.
I always feel a bit cheap when I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's
Because
It's probably actually, you know what though? It's probably a good icebreaker. Like I should do it. This is something that I want to say, guys. Like when you start going out with someone, generally have like a bit of facade up, right? But it's always good to be your most authentic self. So if I'm going to be using gift cards later on, I'd rather do it on the first date. And if she's not all right with it, then that's going to be an issue. You shouldn't be someone that you're not. I mean, if you'd never use a gift card now,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't be okay to use on the first date. You shouldn't be trying to pretend to be someone that you're not.
Yeah. Okay, so scenario, right? What if like you really want to take this person out to a nice restaurant, but you don't have the cash, but you do have a gift card? Should you opt in for the gift card and be like, listen, I don't have the cash for this date, but I got you covered, gift card.
Yep. Yep. I'm going to say yes, it's okay. As long as the meal's getting paid for.
I couldn't.
This
do
is
it.
the other thing, bro. Who should pay for the meal? Ooh, very, very controversial. I don't want to take that privilege away. If I was on a first date and she insisted to pay for the meal, I would, of course, offer to pay for it. I'd be like, no, I've got this. But then if she challenged that and said, no, look, I'd be like, well, do you want to pay half? And if she said, no, I really want to pay for it, I'd be like, that's okay. And a lot of people would be listening to that thinking, oh, well, he's a beat up, you shouldn't allow that. But you shouldn't be taking someone's privilege away. Like they obviously
agree with
want to do that.
I agree with that. So as a default, I will always offer
Yeah, 100%.
to pay. Just by default, I'll always offer to pay. But if there was a challenge in that and it was like, no, I really want to pay, like, let me get this. Okay, sure. And I would just follow it up with something like, well, I got the next one.
Yeah.
And then there's your
100%.
second date.
There's nothing worse than if you're at the dinner table and there's an argument to pay. I don't like that. It's all.
It is awkward.
Mum's probably listening to this, but we're down in Melbourne and we're at a restaurant and I wanted to pay and then she insisted to pay. This actually ties in really well. I've always got a few gift cards on hands, guys. And she insisted and I was like, no, I can do it. Bit different with your mum. And she was like, nah, I'm paying for it. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to make a scene. So I stood back and she tapped her card and I just threw a gift card over the table at her and I was like, yeah, take that.
Oh,
And she put it in her wallet. So essentially I got to pay for the meal.
nice.
Funny. But I think that's pretty much it, man. That's been a great podcast. We're going to wrap it up there. I tell you what, guys, boy, oh boy, get excited for the upcoming guests that we have for you. I'm going to keep it a bit of a secret for now. All I can say is get pumped. Extremely valuable guests coming for the month of April. I kind of like these podcasts where we just jump on, chat shit. I think they are very valuable. Let us know what you think, though, guys. Please give us some feedback. Send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, if you did watch this. And of course, we really, really do appreciate it if you share the podcast around. Tell your co-workers, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your partner to give it a listen. Appreciate each and every person who shows up and takes the time out of their day or night to listen to the Fuck or Suck podcast. It means a lot. Wes, have you got any parting words?
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you on episode 9 of the Fuck or Suck podcast very soon.